Jai Hind and welcome to yet another lecture. And the topic which we are taking up today, I am sure you'll all feel very relatable to it because we all end up, having these little errors in our day to day spoken English. Like even when I am mentioning it to you, e is setting in. What are these? These are filler words which we need to reduce if we want to speak with clarity, fluency, and with confidence. So, the topic for today is reducing filler words, speaking with clarity and fluency. So, that's how we go ahead now. Okay, moving on. What are the objectives? As I just started with a little role play. Yes, e. I was fumbling, looking for words. Those are our filler words which we use, but they do make us sound very underconfident and unsure at times. So we need to work on this. So first of all, we'll understand what exactly is the definition of filler words and what role do they play in our speech. Then learning various actionable techniques to minimize the filler words, okay, the use of fillers. Then exploring other alternatives to fillers, and of course, how can we not work on enhancing our vocabulary? That definitely is also on our learning objective list. So moving on to the introduction to the filler words. So, first thing first, we will define what filler words are. Filler words are sounds or phrases like I mean, like, yeah, so, these are what? These are the words which unintentionally become a part of our conversation, or when you are communicating with anybody, we are giving a speech and they make it come to a abrupt pause. So these are the pauses which are unintended, but they do crop up. So they fill the pauses during the speech and they are not required. Though they are unintended, they are unwelcomed. So keep it in mind to reduce the visit of these unwelcomed guests in your communication skills. So why do they occur? Why do we go on falling on filler words? Simple. People use fillers when they are thinking of something, what they have to say the next, or they feel unsure, or they are nervous. When you don't have proper vocabulary also to back you up, you keep on thinking of getting that right word out of your mind, retrieving the correct word. For filling up that vacuum in your speech, you insert a filler word unintentionally, but it will not sound very great. It will not cast a very great impression either. So, what is the impact of these filler words on our communication? In the professional context, because we are all becoming very aware that with things changing around us, with the professionalism setting in, you cannot take things for granted. So, frequent fillers can make any speaker appear unprepared. If I stand here at the podium and I'm not prepared for my lecture, I will be fumbling, I'll be fishing for words. Will I look very confident to you? Will you like to listen to a person who does not know the concept? If I am unsure about what I need to speak to you, how would you get that interest in listening to me? It is impossible. So the speaker looks unprepared, low on confidence, and pretty unsure. So it obviously tarnishes your image and impacts your impression in a negative manner. So, and also in the casual conversations, sometimes, when you are using these filler words, you might sound little confusing. People will not take so much of notice because it's a casual setting, but still you will not appear very confident to them. Also, you'll look kind of confused, and they will also have a feeling that you are unable to present your ideas to them in a nicer manner. So obviously, the conversation pitch, level, and impact would be degraded. So in both the arenas, it will not cast a good impression. So let's have a few examples. So I think that like we should, start the meeting now. Does it sound like a very confident statement one should listen to, or the command or the advice or the suggestion what is being put here? Does it one do you even think that you are going to listen to a conversation like that or a sentence like that and react to it? No. The chances are very high that if you make such a statement, most people would not take you very seriously. So you can improve this. How? By immediately finding better words to string up a sentence for you, which will help you put out your thoughts with clarity and also confidently. Of course, fluently as well. I think we should start the meeting now. So, with lot of clarity, I have put forward my idea that it is time for the meeting to begin now. Rather than, I think you know, we know, he knows. No point beating around the bush, looking and fishing for the filler words. Be confident before you speak in front of anyone. So, what are the strategies to reduce the your killer filler words? Okay, so first is pause intentionally. You have to pause. If you are unsure about what to say, pause. Think in silence, okay, rather than speaking it out loud and using more fillers in stringing of your sentences. So, pause. Think. So, the example is pause after being asked a question. If someone's asked you something and you need to reply, just don't jump out of your seat in excitement. Absorb the question, think about the answer, and without being in a hurry or in a rush to respond, calculate what you have to say and then present it confidently. Right? Next is prepare in advance. Outline your points. If you are talking in a professional jargon, outline your points of conversation beforehand. Okay, and be ready even if you are going for a presentation or for a group discussion with your team. So prepare, outline what all points can be covered and how you're going to be presenting them. Why? Because if you are sure about things and you're prepared in advance, it will help you in a great deal. Number one, it will make you look very confident. It will make you look very clear about your thoughts, and definitely when you will achieve both these things in front of others, you will definitely reduce the nervousness level in you because you're prepared. You will know that yes, I know the topic what I'm going to be talking about. So that nervousness also will be shoved out of the window. So that's also a good way to reduce the killer filler words. Next, focus on breathing. Very important. Calm yourself down. If you are nervous, you are anxious, your breathing accelerates. When your breathing accelerates, you become all the more anxious. And when you become more anxious, what happens? Your thought process gets hampered. You can't think with clarity. You can't think with clarity. It's impossible to deliver out something in a conversation with clarity. All right. So focus on your breathing, calm yourself down, reduce your anxiety, give yourself time to think, to respond. Nobody is running after you with a gun that you have to quickly blab it out to save your life. No. If someone's tossing a question to you, it means he's valuing your answer. He's going to evaluate what you're saying. To get yourself into a correct picture, to make the other person value what you are saying, speak with clarity. So, calm yourself down, get clarity here so that you deliver with clarity from your thoughts or in your thoughts rather. So, example is inhale deep, okay, have deep breathing when you feel that you are, tempted to use a filler word. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you. So, if you feel that you kind of losing the words to be used here, calm down. Take time, string up the sentence, do deep breathing, calm yourself down, think, and then respond. Okay? Then speak slowly. Very important. This most people would advise you who will groom you to speak confidently. That if you are speaking too rapidly, what's happening? Too many thoughts are being processed in your mind too quickly. What's happening with that now? Too many thoughts processed too quickly cannot be put into the words that quickly. And even if they are, they'll sound all jumbled up and unclear to the listener. Because listening also is a capacity. One has to listen. And when you are having a conversation with someone, you have to give them time also to absorb what you are saying. So, pace it down. Neither should you be in a hurry to put everything from here out onto the table. No hurry. Take your time. So, a slower pace naturally will give you more time to think. When you have more time to think, you're more calm. And obviously, when you're more calm, the use and dependency on fillers would be cut down to a great length. So the example can be, instead of rushing through, articulate each word clearly. Instead of just being in a hurry to finish quickly this conversation, take your time, slow it down, think, articulate each word with a lot of clarity. Now we come to another important part, which is replacement techniques for fillers. What techniques should we use so that the filler usage is minimized in our conversation? First is use transitional phrases. So there are a lot of phrases which you can bring to your rescue as transitional phrases. So these can be phrases like, for example, on the other hand, let's consider what's happening. You are using these phrases along with the ideas which you want to put across on the table, right? They are not the part of the idea though, but these are transitional phases. They are taking the conversation, transiting it from one to another. So you can use these transitional phrases instead of I think, oh, yeah. No. Use, let's consider, instead of saying I think, let's consider. Isn't it a better choice? So we'll see the example now. Instead of saying I think, it's better to say let's consider this perspective. Let's consider this idea. Right? Then think aloud. Think aloud means what? Verbalize your thought process instead of using fillers. Okay? I am trying to remember the exact term for this rather than thinking, this is called, this process is called, it brings down the whole thing, down to the dust. So instead of looking so unsure, underconfident, under pressure, think aloud your thoughts, give it a voice, and instead of saying, start saying, I'm trying to remember the exact term for this. Please give me a moment. So you are buying time without looking underconfident because the other person knows, oh, that you are aware of this term. It's just you are taking time to recollect it. So it will cast a better impression of you. It will take the conversation definitely to a smoother arena. Next, we move to ask for clarifying questions. If you are unsure about anything said by the speaker, it is always good to ask rather than being unsure. It's better to ask. Ask, do you mean this? Do you mean to say this? Yeah, you can, even if it's a formal setup, you can't go informal where you can easily say, could you please clarify that? So what's happening? You are taking again the information that is giving you more time to absorb it. Your brain is processing it better. Your understanding about it is increasing. Definitely, the end result, which will be a conversation or an answer from your side, is going to be better and of better quality. Then we move on to self-assessment home task. Now, we've done lot many strategies already. है ना? We've understood what filler words are and how we can, instead of depending on those, we can go on to better ways of framing stringing sentences to use better vocabulary words to save us. So now your self-assessment activity or home task is to reflect on your own progress and outline the steps for improvement. So what are the reflection questions for this? What causes me to use fillers? You have to ask yourself this. Why am I using so many fillers? Am I unprepared? Did I not give enough time to prepare my lecture? If yes, that's the answer, then you need to spend a little more time in preparing. But if your answer is, oh, I really lack on the vocabulary arena, work on your vocabulary. So this will give you a little bit more of clarity that why your dependency on fillers exists. Next, which strategies work best for me? Then you can pick the strategies which we've just discussed and see whether slowing down the pace of conversation helps you, or deep breathing brings down your anxiety in front of others and you can handle a conversation better without fillers. So, whatever strategies you think are going to work best for you, adopt those. Ultimate aim is to groom ourselves better. So, adopt what suits you the most. Next. Now, what is the checklist for practice? Instead of using what do? Pause. Take time. Take a deep breath, collect your thoughts, and frame the sentence. All right? Use at least one transitional phrase in every conversation. I think, instead of saying, I think, you can just put forward, say, let's consider this option. How about exploring this? Yes, so use transitional phrases. Oh, on the other hand, we can even go to the park. Yeah, instead of going to the gym today, we can even, I feel on the other hand, the yoga class can also be considered. So you are not depending on the filler, you are using a transitional phrase in sense. Next, practice speaking slowly and of course with clarity. Very important. Whenever we are speaking so that the other person understands the thought what we have here in our mind. So unless we will not speak slowly or with clarity, conversations can't go very far. Okay? It will cause confusion. And maintain a speaking journal. That's very important. Record some of your daily conversations. You have your phones with you, yeah? Your smartphones are definitely here with you. You can record what you are having a conversation about and try to keep a tab on minimizing the use of fillers in your day-to-day conversation. Listen to you how you converse. See how many fillers are you using. So put effort in the right direction to minimize the killer fillers. Now, some effective read articles. I thought I should suggest some here. These can be How to Stop Saying and Other Filler Words, Harvard Business Review. If you can get your hands on this, you'll find it on Google. You can spend some time and you can read this. It explains the basic psychology, the mindset behind the use of filler words, and also will provide you actionable tips to minimize their usage. So it's a good read whenever you have a free time at hand. Do invest it in this. Next, how to speak without using fillers. It's on the TED blog. You can go to the TED Talks and you can see this. Tips from the TED speakers on reducing filler words and delivering engaging speeches. And it's for each one of you. It's for each one of you attending the module 3 where you are learning professional speaking or communication skills. Next, mastering speech clarity, eliminating fillers. This is on Mind Tools. So, it is a comprehensive guide to build clarity and confidence in speaking. Whenever you have time, invest your time in reading these or listening to these talks for your own benefit and for your personal grooming and confidence. So now we move to reducing fillers with the help of enhancing our vocabulary. And in word galore today, the first word is articulation. I have kept the words very relatable to the topic we are covering so that we just don't do the topic, we also learn new words related to it. Articulation, the definition is the clear and precise pronunciation of words. That's called articulation. Articulate clearly. Improving articulation can help reduce the reliance on filler words and enhance clarity in speech. Next, pacing. Pacing means the speed and the rhythm at which a person speaks or talks. Slowing down your pacing allows you to think before speaking, which reduces the use of fillers. Please excuse me for this. We move on to fluency. The definition says, what is fluency? The ability to express oneself easily and smoothly without any hesitation or hitch is called fluency. And the sentence in context to the topic we were doing today, fluency in speaking is achieved by minimizing filler words and maintaining a natural flow of ideas. So with this, it's a thank you and Jai Hind from my side. Take the tips, find time to read the article or the TED Talk I just mentioned or listed for you so that the usage and dependency on filler words is cut out from our conversations. Until we meet the next time, thank you and Jai Hind.